Tesla's incredible beat is dominating the Tesla news this morning. No kidding. Some are pointing to Elon Musk's great poker move to lower prices when he did. Come on, folks. It all comes back down to first principles. First principles in everything. I'm still learning this. It blows my mind to recognize how you could apply first principles even to your methods of marketing, which includes pricing. Pricing's a major piece of marketing. All right. In this morning's episode, I'll also discuss my recent win streak in terms of predictions, and I'll make some more predictions at the end of this episode. This is Randy Kirk. If you like my morning briefings, my 10 minutes after the bell updates so that you can maybe make some decisions based on the news early in the morning, then please hit the like button and then subscribe and hit notify. There's a couple of videos yesterday you might want to go back and look at, but there's also, I got to tell you, this might be the best week ever. I've got 2 interviews. One with Brian White, one with Larry Goldberg. You're not going to want to miss. And I've got a couple of, I call them my essays. I've got a couple of analyses that I've already written. I haven't produced them yet, but they're going to probably come out this week. You're not going to want to miss those. Okay. Patreon, buy the book, all that kind of stuff. All right. The overall market is looking like it'll go sideways today. It's a shortened day, a shortened week, an odd week, a weird week. And so right now there's, not as many traders and basically almost no news or reports or, things about companies this morning. So it's one of those rare days when not a lot's probably going to happen. So I would think the market's going to go sideways, except, of course, for Tesla. Their beat is all the conversation on the news. It's, leading the news everywhere. And it's all that anybody's talking about with regard to Tesla. So, one of my goals in the morning is to find news that you may or may not have seen, hopefully things that you've missed, and be able to report those so that it'll help you, in your analysis. And this morning, boy, it is really hard to find news because nobody's talking about anything else. There has been a couple of things, a few price reductions in Canada, a little bit of a price reduction on Model Ys in the United States. They've opened up Malaysia as a new market. I guess it'll happen in a few weeks here. They're going to start selling cars in Malaysia. Expect that to happen across the rest of Southeast Asia and across other, parts of the world. Tesla will continue to open new markets and continue to add S's and X's in some of these markets because that's what you do as you expand the product capabilities. You want to expand its markets to the places where you think you can do a good job. Anyway, so the news is all about Tesla this morning. The really awkward projections and predictions made by even some Tesla bull analysts over the last week to 10 days are not where they're not, these guys are looking like egg all over their face. And some of them are trying to run for cover this morning and making some odd statements. Folks that were giving their price predictions, their stock price predictions in the 240s and 260s, it's not going to be good. All right. So who else is getting creamed today besides those folks? Well, the shorts are getting creamed, and they're going to get creamed continuously from now through at least earnings day and maybe well past earnings days. So one headline was that the bears are going into permanent hibernation. No, that's not true. That's a ridiculous assertion. Bears are bears. They generally don't turn into bulls. They generally just go become a bear in some other stock if they've gotten creamed in a stock like Tesla. And besides, they'll almost always find reasons to hate on Tesla. Believe me, Craig Irwin, and he's already coming out this morning naysaying. Some people are even saying that Tesla might have got the numbers wrong, that somehow they blew the numbers and got it. Anyway, so in other financial news, oil is up slightly because there's no headlines. People are making a big deal about the fact it's up slightly. talking about how there's, lowered inventories. We've been seeing lowered inventories for the last few weeks, but oil is staying at 71. It's in a trading range between 67 and 81, and it has been really in a narrow trading range between 67 and 72 for weeks, for at least a couple of weeks. And sitting at 71 this morning, up $1. No, that's not a story. There's nothing. No, there's no there. What'll happen with oil? Well, we're already into July. So people are now looking past the end of summer and thinking what'll happen, in terms of heating oil, in the winter. Anyway, I don't know. I don't think it's going to go back into the 80s. I think it's more likely to go into the low 60s. So that's just me. Bonds are sideways this morning, but as I mentioned yesterday in a couple of videos I talked about with the bonds, this is where you really want to watch. If you want to see where the economy is going to go, keep watching these bonds, okay? They are voting. They're voting on two things. Where's the economy going? Where's inflation going? That's three things. Where's the economy going? Where's inflation going? And where are the interest rates going? Right now, the bonds are right smack in the middle of the trading range. The trading range, let's say on the 10-year, the trading range would be between 3.3 and 4.1, 4.2, 4.3, somewhere in there. And it's sitting right now at 3.7. That's where it's been. If it goes above 4 or under 3.5, those will be really big signals. So that's what you want to watch for. Also, you want to watch this inversion. The inversion just continues and continues. The inversion has been about a full percent on the 2-year inversion, sitting at about 4.7 this morning. And on the 2-month inversion, it's been about 1.5%. Those inversions are crazy. I think they're going to continue. I think that they're not any kind of signal for a recession at this point. I think it is all about this flight. It's normally you have a flight to safety and you buy into these bonds, even though you're not getting much of an interest rate benefit from doing so. You're just going there to have a safe place to put your money. Right now, it's a really good deal if you believe that inflation is, down to 2% almost. In fact, we'll talk about that in a minute. So it's just a really good deal right now. And if interest rates come down later, you make money on the bonds too. So I don't think it has anything to do with the economic future right now. This inversion, I think it has to do with just a pragmatic decision making on the part of people who play in bonds. The NASDAQ is up this morning. It's the only thing that's up, at least last time I checked, and we'll check it again here in a minute. But the NASDAQ is up a little bit, and that's probably basically because of Tesla. The Dow is down, the S&P was about flat, but the Dow wasn't down very much. S&P is probably being buoyed by Tesla as well. Generally speaking, you're not going to want to use today as any kind of a gauge of or predictor of how anybody thinks about the economy because of the reason it's a short day and not many traders. Okay, now let's talk about let's talk about first of all that Truflation this morning is down to 2.2, keeps dropping. It's like this. 2.2. They've got it right. I know they've got it right. And I know the Fed has got to be paying attention to Truflation. They've just got to at this point. I think that's what the bonds are paying attention to. They're watching Truflation and they're watching some other indicators that Truflation uses in order to get these more accurate, up to the minute numbers with regard to inflation. That's why you're seeing bonds trading where they're trading, is because the bond market believes that inflation is headed below 2% and soon. All right, let's see here. Let's talk about my recent record. I've gotten it right a few times lately. I know. I know. Even last night I said Tesla would open at 275. That is technically incorrect. It opened at 260, but within about a second and a half, it went to 276. I also suggested there will be a sell-off with some profit taking this morning. Last I checked, that hasn't happened, but I think it still will. But I think that Tesla will end up trading at the end of the day between 275 and 280. I could be completely wrong on that. I know I hit the number out of the park with regard to the Tesla numbers yesterday at 260. Ended up higher than I expected. I know that I have the reputation of being an uber bull, and so some people probably don't take me that seriously. And I'll be the first to say that my optimism commonly gets in the way of my calls, and that I don't usually have a streak like this of like 3 or 4 weeks in a row of being on target pretty much of the time. So I think it's just a streak. I hope it's real. I hope it's going to continue, but don't put a lot of credence in it. I'm just one guy giving one point of view. And I hope that it will cause you to think that it's wise to follow me and watch some of my shows. But it's just, I'm on a streak. It's not likely to last, but maybe it will. Who knows? Anyway, so I think that Tesla is headed to 300 this week. Obviously, news can affect Tesla news can affect that. Stock market news can affect that. We've got all the job reports coming out this week, which are going to be the big things that'll be affecting the market this week, unless there's something breaking, some big deal breaking, peace in the Ukraine that would, cause the market to do something different. So this is a good time. If you're thinking that I'm doing something right, then join Patreon. The information's down below. You can just click on the thing and join that for $5 a month. And right now you get 7 days free to check it out. The books, the Elon Musk mission, there's about 10% of it that is now outdated because we made predictions back then, and we talked about things that were happening in real time. It was a newsy book, but guess what? About 90% of it is still accurate. It's still talking about the companies. It's talking about Elon Musk. It's talking about his skill sets. It's talking about Tesla's moats. It's talking about their market levers that they can pull that they haven't even, some of them they still haven't even pulled. It was talking about some predictions and projections about how Tesla would move in terms of the marketplace. There isn't much in there about Optimus, for instance, because Optimus wasn't much of a thing back there, but there's still some stuff. So you should buy a copy of the Elon Musk mission. It's available in audio if you prefer that method right now. It's even got a hardback if you'd like to get the hardback. Anyway, the Elon Musk method, it's about how to run your own small business based on Elon Musk principles. I mean, who wouldn't want that? If you own a small business, you're thinking about owning a small business, you're entrepreneurial in any way, shape, or form, you want that book, and you want When Friday Isn't Payday. And if you'd like to get to be better and smarter with regard to how you do the bookkeeping at your business, you want to get Making Money Out of Thin Air, because that's what that book is about. It's written with a CPA who also has her MBA, who I think is extremely smart, and that you should use her as your CPA, Shayla Chamberlain. And it's a book that helps you to look at your financials and use them to make money without doing anything else. You look at the financial and you go, oh, I should do this and this and this, and it helps you make more money. Who wouldn't need a book like that? Anyway, let's take a quick look here. Let's take a final look. I know you can do this yourself, and by the time I give it to you, it's over. Look, we're at 281 on Tesla. It's been as high as 284. Yeah, so far I'm completely wrong. See, my streak is over, but it's now going down again. Okay, the profit taking has started. So we'll see if I think we'll bounce back down around 275, maybe even below 275, and then we'll come back up and finish between 275 and 280. And just real quick, let's take a look at what's happening with the 10-year. Yeah, see, it's down just a tiny bit, still at 3.8. Nothing to report there. Oil is now actually down a little bit. See, I'm telling you, nothing to report. It's all going sideways today. We'll have way more reporting later this afternoon. I'll give you a report, some kind of report after the market closes. And I might do one of my special, either one of the interviews that I've already recorded or one of my special essays later today. So hit notify, hit record. You have to, did you know you have to hit subscribe before you can hit notify? And then, yeah, I think that's all I've got for you right now. It's been great talking to you.